Today on Buds Mafia, we talk about the heartbreak gold medal loss to the United States in the Olympic Games. We break down all the storylines of that game, the quarterfinals, everything leading up to it as well, what it means for USA hockey and what's next for Canada, as well as some little housekeeping news on the Leafs' upcoming schedule and some minor trades. Jackson breaks down the NFL Combine, what to look for the Bills, and some news as well in the NFL. And then we break down the Genesis Invitational and talk about the Cognizant Classic, and of course end with our betting segments. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's get into it.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round!
Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Buds Mafia podcast. This is episode 57. A little bit of a sadder, more depressing mood. Thankfully, we're recording this on a Tuesday instead of Sunday night. I think the mood would have been a lot more anger and a little bit of more emotions, but we calmed down, collected our thoughts. This episode is mainly going to be Olympics. I don't know if Jackson may want to talk a little bit about the Combine. There's some minor trades that happened as soon as the freeze lifted up, but the trades haven't been that crazy. We can talk about the Leafs' upcoming schedule, which hopefully our captain's there. We'll see in the game on Wednesday. But Jackson, I know you've been grinding with the new puppy and everything. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired. I'm a little sleepy. But no, it's been good. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I've never felt more like an adult and a child at the same time. Like I feel like I'm just going through life and I'm like, God damn it, I feel old. And then there's some days where I'm like, I feel like a little immature kid. But yeah, no, I'm doing good.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people message me saying, am I okay? Because when I posted that video
that was so funny.
I posted two. I got a lot of feedback of the Marner OT video. Because I say my allegiance with Mitchie Marner now, and I will never talk back on him again. I'd like to stand by it. I unpinned. I have on our TikTok, I have a pretty big rant on Marner about like the PR stunt. I unpinned that one, so it's not the front page anymore.
That's good.
Which is good. And yeah, and then the other video with my nose just dripping like clotting blood off a bean.
It's so funny.
People legit thought I got knocked out in Charlotte. I had cousins text me. I'm like, no, that was a joke.
It was so funny because you said you got knocked out at a bar, and then immediately afterwards, you're like, after the surgery. Like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, I was a little bit beamed up, but no, that was literally 30 minutes after I got home from the hospital because I was in the recovery room. There was a bit of a delay, so I watched the whole second and third period of the Finland game in the recovery room, and I was watching on my phone, and I was just screaming out loud. I was so excited because that game was ridiculous.
Yeah, that game was ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, today is mainly we can talk about because I think we left off.
We left off going into the playoffs.
Yeah, like so we didn't talk about the quarters, the semis, and everything. We can talk about a little bit about that. I think the gold medal game is what we're mainly going to be talking about. Obviously, recapping the Riviera, which I only really watched the Sunday just because of the Olympics and everything. But yeah, I'll start us off with our draft or dump because I kind of have one of each. The dump's kind of random. The draft's a quick, just. Being Canadian, that Sunday sucked. And, being a Barstool fan and watching two podcasts on Monday of Spin Chickless, and part of my take was definitely a tough listen. It made me pretty infuriated at my desk trying to do work and listen to those podcasts and seeing Portnoy on Twitter. I'm so proud of these boys. I think people want to nitpick. We're going to talk more about the game, but I mean, they were a goal away. They played better for... I think after that Boldy goal, I think for the next 55 minutes, they were the better team.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the boys. They played great. We need to make sure that we get eyes on the person who gave McKinnon that stuffed animal because they may be dead. I don't know if you saw McKinnon's reaction of getting that stuffed animal. He may fucking kill that person. And my dump is a bit random. It's because I was literally in bed. And I'll say I was gonna say I was definitely gonna draft being Canadian, but dump. Just because is that your fucking stomach?
That was my stomach. Yeah.
Holy, we'll get there. We'll get there. You'll get some.
I'm a little hungry.
I'll get the man some food. Don't worry. This won't be a long one. Holy fuck!
It doesn't help the microphone sitting in between my legs. So
that was a loud growl. That was a good one. Okay, moving on. My dump. Have you? I don't follow the NBA a lot, but the deadline I think was like 2 weeks ago. Have you seen some of these conditions of these trades?
No, for real, you could not pay me to care about the
No,
NBA.
I know it's crazy. I'm probably gonna watch the playoffs because this year is pretty wide open, at least in the East. And the Raptors are actually good again. But you can have it's the same thing with a lot of leagues. You can have like top 10 protected. You can have all this stuff. So Indiana, I'm pretty sure, like whatever. Clippers traded a center. I think it was Zubac to Indiana for 2 first-round picks. But those picks are, or at least one of the picks is top 3 protected, and it's also top 10 protected, meaning it's if it finishes like 3 to 8, they keep it. Or sorry, the other team gets it. But if it's 8 to 10 and 1 to 3, the team who traded it or whatever gets that pick. I saw someone break it down. I probably could be horribly explaining this, but the conditions in these trades of protections. I know Adam Silver's there's a whole like NBA anti-tanking rule they're going to try and bring in or something. That's a big news right now because some teams are legitimately openly tanking because they traded a lot of first round picks, but they're all protected. So it's like, they got a really good player to finish out the year, but also they still want to be, and they're sitting them. Like Utah traded for this Jaren Jackson guy for like 4 first-round picks, but they're all protected. So they're sitting him out the rest of the year so they can still finish like bottom 3. So the next year they're going to be nasty. So the whole NBA and trades is just absurd. And I saw a TikTok and some tweets about it, and I was just like, what the fuck am I listening to? Your mind's in a pretzel right now. Isn't that insane, though?
Yeah, I got nothing for that. I wish I did.
I thought that was nuts. But yeah, you go ahead.
There's Ryan Ellis, our basketball analyst.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate this one.
All right, good, love it.
Are you gonna draft Connor Hellebuck?
Secretary of Defense.
Dude, this guy, for as much as we roasted him, this guy was insane. Yeah. He played unbelievably well. And, I mean...
I'm going to bring up some stats about him that are going to shock your mind of some of his historical numbers.
He's going back to one of the worst teams in the league, which sucks.
I know. So people are like, I think it was on Part of My Take. They said, like, imagine like you're at the White House, you're partying at 11, like the club in Miami, you're David's bringing up with Jim Craig, like this Olympic like hero and everything. Then you gotta go fucking back to Winnipeg, Manitoba, where you're 3rd last in the whole fucking NHL. That stinks.
And it's cold as shit.
Yeah, it's cold as shit. And speaking of weather, I don't know why I thought we were heading towards some nicer weather, and now it just said, no, fuck you. We're gonna snow every single day again.
Yeah, it's god awful.
I
like the winter time, but this is ridiculous.
I like it to a certain point, but now it's just like, what the fuck? Quick note before we kind of get into some stuff. 1,000 followers on TikTok. That was cool to see.
Boom.
Keep rising. Also, on our biggest video that we posted about the best lines in hockey history, our best video got like over 330,000 views. One that I missed, which I can't believe I missed it. It was basically all the comments about it. In 1987, in their primes, Gretzky, Lemieux, and Messier played together in the 1987 Canada Cup. So it's a bit of a miss on there. It's kind of hilarious. But yeah, it's a bit of a miss. And someone said, like, congrats on just throwing in that American line. Wasn't even close to the other line. So I was like, yeah, you gotta throw some U.S. love in there every now and then. And also almost 100 subscribers on YouTube. I mean, we haven't been on YouTube for too long. I mean, I guess since we started the podcast. But I got away from posting those Monday clip just because of my new job. I had surgery recently, but I have a new video coming out Monday that I'm gonna record this week of my predicted and potential 2030 Canadian Olympic roster. I'm gonna break that whole down too. I have all the lines already done, and I'm excited to break that down.
I was thinking about this the other day. You know how tough it's going to be to sit and watch the Olympics in 2030, and then you have to sit and realize that you're now 30 years old.
Yeah, we're getting old, man. We're getting old. At least we have the 2028 World Cup, so every 2 years it's like at least best on best. But in terms of Olympics, yeah, like 2030s when we'll see the boys out in France, the French Alps, try to get that medal back.
Anyway,
yeah, I think we can get right into like there's a few trades just happened. Brett Kulak to Colorado for Samuel Girard and a second round pick in 2028. Definitely a deal that caught me off guard. I think
yeah, me too.
Samuel Girard was a big piece of that Stanley Cup winning team in Colorado, kind of a water bug. But if you're looking at a fifth or sixth defenseman, I think Brett Kulak has fit that role on a bunch of teams. I'm shocked they had to send a second round pick as well. Girard's kind of having a tough season, but kind of given the freedom in Pittsburgh he can get, I think he can do a lot better. Pittsburgh kind of lacks offense from the back end. And then, yeah, kind of other thing is I kind of want to talk about McKenna real quick. Since kind of he did the Scotty Scheffler get out of prison, he's just been absolutely insane. I think the other day he had an 8-point night against Ohio State. And then did you see his celebration after his first goal? Conor McGregor. That was kind of hilarious. And yeah, I think he has, I mean, at this point, I think he has more than this now, but at this point, he's 23 points in his last 10. So people worried about his game. He's absolutely fucking lighting it up right now.
Break a guy's jaw in two places, you end up playing better hockey.
Exactly. Yeah, I was getting the Olympics. The Leafs' next few games, they play Tampa when this comes out to like the Wednesday. Uncertain about Matthews. I think he'll be in Tampa. I think they said
he expects him to play.
Yeah, that's Chief being Chief. I don't know. I just saw a video of Matthews shaking hands with Donald J. Trump, so I don't know where Matthews is going to be. But they said he will be there.
Yeah,
it's unsure if he'll play. But we got kind of a gauntlet right out of the gate: Tampa, Florida, then Ottawa. Some big divisional games, and then Philly, the first game in March. Tampa's hot. I think they're only 6 back points from Colorado for the league. They got Point healthy. They got Sorelli healthy. Hedman went down in the Olympics, which we'll get to. Hagel played all right. I don't think he stood out, but I don't think he played bad at all for Canada. Chernak played good. They're getting a healthy Vasilevsky. We're going to get to my lock of the week. It's kind of a heavy lightning lock of the week just because of the injuries for the Leafs. But we can get right into starting with the quarters. We don't have to get too much to quarters and semis, but I'll mainly talk about the gold medal game. But quarters, Slovakia beat Germany pretty handily. Germany was a major disappointment for me. I thought they're going to do a lot better. I know the depth isn't like it is for Finland, Canada, all those teams. But when you're talking about, I like Germany more than Slovakia and Czech coming into the tournament, and Switzerland. I mean, you have Philip Grubauer, who's the main reason why Seattle's in the playoffs. Leon Draisaitl, top 5 player in the league. Stützle, Seider didn't do really too much. You have JJ Peterka. Stützle looked great. But yeah, really disappointing. They didn't really do too much. So they lost 6-2 in the quarters. Finland beat Swiss 3-2 in overtime after being down 2 with 2 minutes left, and Finland pulled one out of their ass. Sweden win 2-1 with Quinn Hughes, OT winner. We'll talk about Quinn Hughes later. He's probably one of the players of the tournament, or at least probably the defenseman of the tournament for sure. And then Canada, Czechia. I mean, win 4-3. Mitchie Marner, if you saw my post, I pledge my allegiance to Mitchell Marner now. Very similar to the Four Nations goal, kind of like a drop back pass from the blue line. He kind of skated right up Mainway, and then it was weird. He went backhand, far side cheese, which I thought was kind of odd. And the Czech coach with an all-time quote after the game. It felt like we were playing against 6 guys when they legit had 6 guys on the ice.
That was crazy.
That would have been a tough loss, especially what's happening with World Juniors the last 3 years. That would have been a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been all right.
I wouldn't have recorded. That would have sucked. But thank God I screamed so loud when Marner scored. Honestly, it's nice working from home. I really told my bosses like these like 9-10 o'clock games, I'm not doing much during that few hours. Like it's just not going to happen. I do kind of like watching hockey games at like 10 o'clock though. It's kind of nice. I know people working is kind of annoying,
Dude,
but for people who work from home, it was kind of nice.
It was so nice when I was on afternoons, and then when I was on days, it sucked.
Oh, I bet.
The only way I could tell if someone scored a goal, we were listening to it on the radio, someone would honk the buzzer on the crane.
Yeah.
And if they honked twice, it was the other team. If they honked once, it was us.
No, actually.
Yeah. It was hard to tell.
And then going to the semis, Slovakia, USA, the game was over before it started. I think Larkin scored with like 3 minutes into the game, or maybe I think even like 2 minutes in the game, and then it was over. Cinderella run over for Slovakia, and then didn't even get the bronze, which obviously they kind of sucked for how good they played all tournament. Then Finland, Canada. I mean, I woke up from my surgery, and I was like, perked up. Actually, I was still wearing off the anesthesia, and I asked the nurse, like, what's the score? She said 2-0. I was like, hey, put me back under.
Yeah, actually, you missed a spot in there.
Yeah, the pain wasn't too bad. What I said on my video was very true. I said the pain wasn't too bad, but they asked me if I wanted a perk, and I knew how crazy I was during the Czech game. So I said, yeah, I think a perk's a good idea. Even though the pain wasn't that bad. I just thought maybe to calm my nerves, which it did help. I wasn't too nervous. Yeah,
We don't condone.
I condone all of it. First period, just kidding. First period, I from what I heard, the first period kind of dominated. Just obviously the shorthanded goal and the power play goal wasn't the best. Big goal by Reinhardt to bring the boys back. Then Theodore ties it with a laser. Big controversy after this game. This was one of those classic, you refs let Canada win this game. I went at a tweeting spree against Teemu Selanne. I was attacking him in every sort you can.
It doesn't make sense. It's like they decided the game. It's like, okay, still a stick to the face. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it got there. It's still a stick to the face. There's one thing if a guy grabs the stick and hits himself in the face. 100%. But like,
there's certain penalties in like a tight game like that you have to call, and that's what I tweeted at him. I said, like, full on trip. Like if you full on yank a guy's, like it's a full on trip. If it's a step on, those awkward ones, you don't call it. But if it's a full on like break or you trip him, obviously you call that. Deck a guy for like just a complete dirty hit, like elbow to the head, complete from behind, dirty, call those, right? If it's a late interference, then obviously you aren't calling that shit. And then high sticks, and then puck over glass. Like you're saying in a tight game, if puck goes over glass, you're like tie game, we're not going to call that one, even though this guy fucking hit fucking Mario in seat 4, like he's fucking dead. Like, no, we're not going to call it because it's tied game 1-1. But no, like, and yes, people are like, oh, like McKinnon lifted his stick. Yeah, he lifted it taply, got the puck, and then Mikkola forwarded him right in the nose. And yes, could you maybe say he snapped his neck a little bit more? Sure. His stick hit him in the head very clearly. Gotta call it. Wah. Suck my nuts.
Whatever.
That's what I'm going to say to that.
Yeah,
love you, Timo. You're a legend. I know you're listening, but
yeah, obviously, daily listener.
All right, let's just talk about the gold medal game. We kind of wanted to pretty quickly get there. There's a lot of storylines to this game, and a lot of this game, how many individuals it affects, and we kind of want to say this all the right way. First off, it sucked. Obviously, like I said, we're filming this on a Tuesday afternoon. Calmed down a lot more since Sunday. Reading, we're big Barstool fans. Seeing all those posts was definitely tough to see. But they earned it. Like, you can say all you want about Canada dominating that game.
Yeah.
Congrats. Like, hang the banner for dominating the gold medal game without winning. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks. That game meant a lot for USA Hockey. I know, like, no duh, but, like, it meant a lot. When talking about Canada always getting the best of them, they started that USA NDTP program in the early 2000s, I believe, and they just got better and better. They started winning world junior championships, and they just started getting more and more competitive, and they deserve it. There's a lot of players that this game affected.
Yeah, I agree.
Jack Hughes' life will forever be affected. Where I'm going to bring up some players like Hellebuck, Matthews, and Jack Eichel. But also, I do not to kind of glance over how important this is for USA, but in all seriousness, we said this before recording. This to me, this was USA's best chance to win it in years to come. And I'm not trying to discredit anything of USA, but if you look at the next few top picks, our young guys coming up, Schaefer will be in 2028 World Cup for sure, but obviously 2030 Olympics. Schaefer will be there, paired with Makar likely. Celebrini will be 23, a prime 23-year-old Macklin Celebrini. Connor Bedard, Gavin McKenna, 2027 projected first overall pick, Landon DuPont. Sebastian Cossa, probably the best Canadian prospect goalie in the Detroit right now. Obviously, McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar will still be in their primes, right? Like and I'm saying USA doesn't have young stars. Obviously, Lane Hudson will likely be on that next team. Maybe Cutter Gauthier, some other guys. But I think for the prime that these American players are in right now, and the state that Hellebuck's in right now, I think this was USA's best chance to win it, and they did. And it's, again, the Canadians can say, "Oh, they didn't deserve that game." Like, shut up. Like, I will say, Canadian Twitter has been tough right now. They're trying to cope with the loss, which I have been as well. It's a tough loss, losing the States and everything. But it's, look back at Four Nations final. We said it. We started the podcast right around that time. USA was the better team in that game.
Yeah,
they got Binnington, and we got bucked. We got hella bucked.
Yeah, we did.
Right? So
he played.
We got to take the L. And I'm proud to be Canadian. We played great. I wouldn't have many roster changes, honestly. And maybe Schaefer, like we could talk about maybe some other roster changes, but proud to be Canadian. USA deserve the win. And that's things got tighter.
For Hughes to get that, the entire game, especially the gold medal game, like the U.S. played. Obviously, they blew out a lot of opponents, but I think some of the games were a lot closer than people were expecting. And same with Canada. And I think it was kind of just a perseverance style. And, going into that overtime, in my head, I was like, I trusted it, but I only trusted it if we had, like, if we slowed pace of the overtime, and we didn't. It just was immediately fast, and as soon as it was fast, it was like, it was gonna. But for Hughes to get that game-winning goal, like, in my opinion, he was the best player on the USA's team in that game. Like,
for sure.
Other than Hellebuck.
He was probably the best. I think he was probably the best forward for America throughout the whole tournament. He was awesome. You could say Matthews. We're talking about Matthews. He was so good, and it sucks because Binnington actually played so good. The first goal, can't really say too much. I don't know what the fuck Makar and Taves were doing on that first goal.
That was ridiculous.
But he played great. He had an immediate stop on Quinn Hughes in the overtime, a one-timer by Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But the goal was weird because it was a cross ice. Obviously, you got a quick reaction. We kind of went like high 5-hole. It kind of went his pad and went down. So it was kind of an awkward goal. And yeah, we won the face-off, which I was pumped. I was like, that's huge, especially with a team like this. And again, we can get into the whole 3-on-3 thing, but we played that 3-on-3 very aggressive. I didn't like the way we did it. A lot of time, guys went down Main Street. We went through 3 changes. So McDavid, McKinnon, Makar had one chance, and then they switched to the whole Celebrini, Marner, and I can't remember, maybe Harley, I'm not sure. And then we went back to those guys. And Makar had that risky pinch, but I don't blame that pinch because, like, if you get that puck, that's almost a 2-on-0 with McDavid, right? Maybe a 2-on-1. But on that back check, McKinnon had Werenski in the corner, but Werenski won that battle. People were like, oh, it's an odd man rush 3-on-1. Like, no, like McKinnon and Werenski had a chance to battle for that puck, but McKinnon kind of lost the battle on Werenski, and we're nitpicking, but, McDavid Makar back check wasn't great. McDavid kind of went to the corner where Quinn Hughes was flying down the wing. Makar kind of a late back check. So I thought, again, we could talk about the whole 3-on-3. Canadians like, oh, congrats on winning a ticky-tacky 3-on-3, all this crap. Yeah, do I think a gold medal game, a Stanley Cup final, all that stuff should be played 3-on-3? No. But you're dealt the same hand as a team you're playing.
Yeah,
it's even strength. Yes, it sucks. And even though Dave Portnoy has been pissing me off this week, he did say something very true where it's like, I would rather see a championship ended with a slick, like one-on-one goal, nice move, nice passing play, than off a shin pad and in,
Yeah,
which would
I
happen
agree.
5-on-5, right? So that's something I definitely agree with. So again, do I think it should be sent like a final style or playoff style 5-on-5? Yes. And people are bitching about John Cooper saying this guy always complains. Dude, he praised US nonstop, and then the reporter asked him what his opinion on 3-on-3. He gave his opinion. But now all these things, oh, he's complaining. They
No.
asked him his thoughts on it. He's
I
not gonna be
know.
like, oh, I fucking love it.
Dude,
Fuck yeah. Like, what the fuck?
I love John Cooper. I think he's a great coach.
And like, people are like, oh, will he be 2030? I fucking hope so.
yeah,
Or 2028. There's no doubt on him, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think overall, just the U.S. I think they were prepared. I feel like mentally they were prepared to go into overtime already, whereas, and maybe not mentally prepared, but I feel like everyone probably had a good idea. But I feel like with all of the chances that we had going in that third period and throughout that third period, that we and this is where I talked about like last week, where it's a mental thing. In my opinion, this game wasn't a talent thing. Like we dominated absolutely. Like Binnington had over 40 saves, and we dominated from basically halfway through the first period till overtime goal. And it's not about talent. It's a whole mental thing of like, you can only take so many shots at the net and it's not going in. And you're like, okay, there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah. And it's again, it's like the Four Nations. Like, we just had more experience than them. And yes, they peppered us in that entire Four Nations game pretty much. But then we hung around. They didn't collapse. They didn't do too much. And then they found a way where, like, yeah, it's kind of like the opposite, even though Canada still has more of the experience and they still were peppered. And again, you could say Canada deserved that win. You got to score 5-on-3 in those moments. Power play with a minute left after killing a 4-minute or 2.5, because then they took a penalty. And Taves wide open net, but again, like you said, like in that reactionary, you're just trying to poke it in, and Hellebuck just had the save of his life. And then McKinnon wide open net. What are you going to do? Right? Like, it's just, you can't say you deserve the win if you can't capitalize on those opportunities.
No.
I do want to get into Hellebuck, because we're going to talk about a few players this game really affected. And obviously, Jack Hughes is going to be an American hero for life. Austin Matthews we'll talk about. Jack Eichel, I want to talk about. Obviously, McDavid and just that poor bastard. But Connor Hellebuck, first off, before this game, I would have said easy Hall of Famer. He's an all-time American goalie. He's fifth in wins among American goalies. He's around 70 from first. So, I mean, probably year and a half after this year, maybe another year if he dominates, if Winnipeg can get back into it, but definitely 2 years.
Yeah.
And by the way, I thought he was a lot older than I thought he was like Bobrovsky. He's 32. That is prime goalie age, like we've talked about before. Like 32, you got another at least 7 years left to be a competent goalie.
The way the salary cap's
going. And dude, they got him locked up for like 6 more years at like $7 million, something like that.
Dude, if he can just find that in the playoffs,
dude, they would probably be in the finals last year.
They're unstoppable.
What he did against St. Louis was hilarious. He let in the worst goals I've ever seen. And then Dallas, who was a little bit better. But dude, like, let's talk about the legacy of this guy. So he has 3 Vezinas and an MVP as a goalie. He's 32. There is 13 goalies with 3+ Vezinas in history, but he's only one of 3 goalies to have 3+ Vezinas and an MVP. Jacques Plonk and Dominic Hasek. Only 3 guys.
It's pretty good company.
3 guys.
It's pretty good.
It's crazy. And so, listen, Jonathan Quick's incredible. He's one of the best goalies that never won a Vezina. He never won a Vezina, but his playoff numbers are absurd. He's got 2 cups with the Kings. Hellebuck, he's going to need that cup to really make himself kind of feel more fulfilled. But winning Olympic gold for USA after 46 years, if that doesn't do it, like, you're talking about one of the all-time goalies of this generation, and he's far from done. Like you said, 32 in his prime goaltender. Winnipeg should get back to form maybe after this year or whatever, but he's one of the best in the world, easy.
Actually, speaking of the 46 years, I know we want to get into the other players and stuff, but I saw a guy talking about it, and he's saying about Canadians and, not to be obviously so down and everything like that, which obviously it's hard not to be. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he was like, USA Hockey was a disgrace. Before, like, they hadn't won in 46 years. Basically his entire point was like they needed this way more than we needed it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it just like, I don't know. I don't think it was disgrace necessarily. Obviously, I've gotten way more into hockey because of the podcast and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if you look at what their team consisted of, it was just grit and a good goalie.
Meat potatoes, baby.
Yeah.
This is what it is, right?
That's why I think in the overtime, like, they were, obviously you put McDavid out there, you think you're going to get a goal right away. Like, when he had the breakaway, I was like, man, you have to score. And when he didn't, in my mind, there were small, subtle things all throughout that game that didn't go our way that I was like, God, that feels like it's foreshadowing for something bad.
Oh, even though we should be favored in a 3-on-3 game because of the style of play that we play, I was not confident. Those games where you're clearly dominating, but going into next goal wins territory, it seems to never go your way. It seems to never go the way that it should in terms of just style of play and everything. It never does. And yeah, man, it sucks. But then let's get into our captain, Big Papi. He finally wins the big game. And like we said when we were recording or talking before recording, I have never seen this motherfucker happier in his entire life. That interview where he was like standing like this, I've never seen that fucking dude happier. And listen, it sucked to be on the other end of it. I'm seeing a lot of Leaf fans being like, you better fucking do this with Toronto now. It's like, yeah, like, trust me, I want to see that happen too. But like, can we be happy for the fucking guy?
Dude, that was
like,
my thing
shit.
too. It was like obviously, I don't know. Obviously, the political side of it makes it a little bit heightened, obviously, with everyone saying we own the sport. And then, you know.
Which they don't, but yeah, we'll get into that.
But like, this is a kid who has given basically his life to the city of Toronto, has done everything to make the Leafs better. And you sit there afterwards and you're like, oh, you got to bring this back to the Leafs. Like, just at least, like, there's a small bit of you that like, oh, this really sucks. But at least our captain of the hockey team, like our NHL team, we get to see what he's like when he wins the big game and when he is
was
overjoyed.
a big factor. And he was a big factor. He's one of the best players throughout the whole term. He had 7 points in 6 games. Defensively, he was excellent. Off puck, he was excellent. The faceoffs, he was awesome. He was a great leader behind closed doors. And he was one of the best forwards. I say best consistent forward. You could say, Jack Hughes offensively was one of the best. I think Quentin Hughes was the best skater. Hellebuck probably the best player overall. But he was awesome. And yeah, can he bring us to Toronto? I would love that nothing more. There's no lack of confidence. But then you go to a team that has lesser players around you, a team we're not in the playoffs, so it's going to be different. If he doesn't score in the first 3 games, Leafs media is going to be fucking all over him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, dude, what he does off the puck, how hard he works, how much of a dog he is. He played awesome, and it sucked, but as a bright side, it was great seeing him with that celebratory and having the feeling of winning. Like that's why when McDavid won the 4 Nations, I was like, hey, this guy has a taste of winning finally at a big stage. Can he keep doing it? And yes, he's still searching for that, but he's still so young. Same thing with Matthews. I have no doubt. Hopefully it's with Toronto, but at some point he's going to figure it out or get it done.
Yeah. Well, and like, even like his defensive play in like the Olympic tournament was like the defensive play he used to have. Like, I don't think his defensive play this year has been up to what it kind of has been in previous years.
Yeah.
But like his defensive play overall in this tournament was like what it was last year. Like last year, maybe he wasn't putting up a ton of points, but off the puck, he was unbelievable. Like getting back into the zone, picking guys' pockets. Yeah.
No. So I was happy to see him. Another American before we get to McDavid. This is kind of a cool little side fact. Jack Eichel. So he joins Neil Broughton, which I'm sure you don't know too much about Neil Broughton.
Well, Neil's my guy.
He's your boy. He was on the 1980 Miracle team. He joins Neil Braun as the only two players to win the Hobie Baker Olympic gold and Stanley Cup.
Do you want to know something horrible? Might make you a little mad.
I would love to. Nothing more.
I didn't even know what the Miracle on Ice was until about 2 months ago.
I mean, it's America, so I don't think it's too stupid. But no, you're kind of an idiot. But
Yeah, I had no idea.
I will say, watch that movie. Have you not seen that movie?
No.
Oh, watch it. It's incredible. It's for me, as much as I hate American hockey, like that movie I'll still watch all the time. And they just released a new documentary, an actual documentary on it of like the boys of 80, and it's like colored footage of the 1980 game against the Soviets, and it's insane. I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, so Jack Eichel, I mean, how could you trade a guy like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking about Buffalo, baby.
Buffalo's in a good spot, though, and let me tell
They're
you,
in a good
Tage
spot.
Thompson also played
They got
really
a winner.
well.
He played really. He had a fucking rip against, I think it was Slovakia. He fucking ripped
Slovakia,
it.
yeah, quite a few rips.
But yeah, I mean, I know this is, again, we're Canadian, like obviously Olympic hockey or college hockey's only kind of grown in the last, I would say, like 10 years or so. But if you're looking at a career, like obviously if you could swap careers with someone with all the accolades, obviously you have Gretzky, Crosby, most goals, Ovechkin, most Stanley Cups, like Messier has like 6 Stanley Cups, right? But like a career like Neil Broughton and now Jack Eichel have, where you have a Hobie Baker, you're the best college player, Olympic gold, and Stanley Cup. And Neil Broughton was also like a 1,000-point, 1,000-game type player. Like that's pretty sick. Like, that's really cool to have. Not a lot of players have a gold and Stanley Cup. I think there's only a handful, at least for Canada. But Hobie Baker too, I know it's kind of a lesser tier to the other two, but that's a pretty cool pedestal to be on. And for Neil Broughton also to be on that 1980 Miracle team, that's pretty sick. All right. We should maybe talk about McDavid. I don't really know what to say. Like it's I feel so sickening for this fucking guy and so gutted for him. It's his second MVP losing. It's his third loss in like a big game, obviously 2 finals and Olympics. And again, he broke a tournament record. He had like 12 points in like 5 games or 6 games, or whatever the fuck it was. And I don't know. Is it too nitpicky? Because I did this against Marner, so I'm guilty as well. When it's, you look at the playoff numbers are great, but then if you look at, games 5 to 7, Marner was not there. Obviously, McDavid's numbers are a lot different. He's averaging like 2.5 points per game, but in those specific closeout games, he hasn't really done well. Where there's game 7, he didn't get a point. I think last year in game 6, he may have had one. I'm not too familiar. Olympic gold, he had chances. He didn't do anything. Watching these games, he looks great though. Like it's not like Marner where sometimes he had those fluky plays that goes all over Leafs media or everything like that. Like McDavid, he still looked great. He still had the breakaway. He still made plays. Like, I'm so confident he's going to get it done. He's still so young. Maybe it's not Edmonton. I don't know. But you got to think he's going to get it done in a game. He's only, he's like 27, 28 right now?
You have to feel like I don't know. Like, my thing with him was that, like, our roster was so talented. And obviously, he's kind of the pinnacle of it. It's just, at some point, if you're that type of player, it's like, man, I can't do it all by myself. Especially playing a team like the U.S. who is going to smother you. Again, even we saw it with Finland. Like, Finland was hard. Their defensive zone, you could not, or like when they were in their D zone, you couldn't get through anywhere. You couldn't get a puck through.
Same with Czechia. Czechia just put 4 guys at that blue line, and our game was gaining with speed, and they just stopped it right there. And sometimes you need that support. And like people, like Americans love to hate on McDavid, which I get. It's like they're our best player and everything. And it's like, hey, we finally give you, because the issue at Edmonton, maybe supporting cast. Obviously, you have Draisaitl, you have some great players. Maybe the depth isn't there. So, all right, so you finally have a supporting cast and you can't get it done. It's like, I don't know. It's also having that supporting cast not just feed you the puck, but also getting it done yourself. Like, obviously, McKinnon misses that empty net. Celebrini had a breakaway. I felt horrible for Celebrini. He really blamed himself after that loss. That one power play, I think McKinnon fed him like 4 times. The sky's the limit for that fucking kid, by the way. He's fucking 19 years old. He had 10 points in 5 games. Like I said, in the next Olympics, he'll only be 23, and he's already was our best player of this tournament, one of them. So I fucking hope McDavid gets it done. But we're on to 2028 World Cup of Hockey. It's I'm excited. Best on best back. I don't know if I can handle this type of anxiety every 2 years. There's no location, I don't think, set yet for this World Cup. I think it should always be in North America. If I'm being honest, it's easier. But
Millie's gonna get used to some yelling because she was not super pumped on Sunday. And Taylor looked at me and she goes, "If she's acting like this when you watch hockey, I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like watching Bills games."
oh God, out the window. Some changes I could see for both rosters for 2028 and 2023. USA, I think a lock to make Team USA is Lane Hudson. Like, I thought he should have been on the team this year.
Yeah,
I still like their decor, but Lane Hudson for sure will be on that team. You know how much of a fan of Cutter Gauthier I am on Anaheim. He should be on that team. Big power winger who can score, play physical. I'm biased on Matthew Nyes. If he can have a better season next year and keep going, he's the type of player that Billy Guerin loves. I can't see, Trocheck and JT Miller being on that team, even though they proved a lot of people wrong. Perfect penalty kill. They did their role. Caulfield and Robertson aren't doing that, right?
No.
So they did their role. Maybe a Will Smith on San Jose. Logan Cooley for Utah, who could have been on this team if he didn't get hurt. Honestly, he played really good. Brock Nelson likely out the next one, even though he played great in this tournament, but he's just keep
really
getting.
well,
We're talking about 4 years from now, right? But 2 years for the World Cup, and for Canada, Bedard and Schaefer to me are no question. Bouchard, I think you're talking about. Oh, we've rather mentioned Paul Coffey back in Edmonton, so we're talking about a guy who's going to improve his game consistently every year with his guy McDavid. I'd be shocked if he wasn't on the next Canada team. I'm a big fan of Wyatt Johnson. I think he was close to making this team. I think has some depth scoring on Canada for how good he's been so underrated this year. He's like almost 30 goals this year.
Yeah.
So I like Wyatt Johnson. And then, Parayko. I thought Parayko looked great this tournament. He had one gaffe, I think, in the France game when he kind of gave the puck away, or maybe the Czech game. I thought it's the kind of guy you need in that bottom pairing, this big meat potatoes. Travis Sanheim. He's still young, but I can't really see him making a team with younger guys like Schaefer. Mark Stone, he's getting older again, who I thought played great. Nothing really to say about it, but Mark Stone. And I have Sidney Crosby. Listen, we can always hold above our heads that Crosby's never lost to USA at a gold medal game. We have that. That's kind of our cope. We didn't have Crosby. We didn't have Crosby.
You know what I did respect is a lot of, even USA fans were a little, it made it a little bittersweet that they beat Canada, but they didn't have Crosby in the lineup.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. And we'll see. He did the right thing. He's just like, I couldn't have provided what I know I could have, where a healthy guy could have, right? So we'll see. I think he's gonna do his best. Obviously 2028 he'll be on that team, but we're talking about 2030. Who knows? But now I have this number wrong here, but we're ending this off with the Olympics. USA, I think we gave him a lot of praise, more than I thought we were going to. But
we don't need to be at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You're going to come on here and be a sore loser and be like, fuck this team, fuck these guys? No. At the end of the day, they deserve to win. They won. We dominated the game and they put it away in overtime. So who fucking cares? Doesn't matter.
And this congrats to them for, making the gold best on best 38-5. You know what I mean? They got that 5 gold medals. We have 38 gold medals. So I'm happy they got the 5. I'm happy for them.
Talk to me when you're in double digits.
Yeah, that's. And by the way, Americans are clearly doing this to rage bait us, which is
Obviously.
working. When they say in the game of hockey, that I lose my mind, but I know it's rage bait. Because you can't have in the same sentence been 46 years since our last gold medal, then say we own the game of hockey.
Yeah.
But it's rage bait. It's just rage bait. And our poor Canadians down or up north are just falling for it like crazy. It's insane. Trust me, I am the biggest, I'm a pretty gullible guy too, but I've learned to just move on with it. We'll get our chance back.
It was part of my take, and they're talking. They're like, how? Because Canada, we lost World Series. obviously gold medal, and there was something else, and they're like, what can Canada do to be like to come back from this? And Big Cat said, win the SEC championship game. And then it was like Jans was saying, yeah, if McGill from Quebec came down and beat Georgia, then you could say Canada's back.
That's hilarious. No, it's people who are falling for that, like, let them do it. Like Americans have even said, like, they probably already forgotten it. Like, by the end of this week, they're already gonna forget about.
Oh yeah,
forget about it. So,
well, there's a lot more
we'll get our
things
chance
going
back.
on down there.
How do you want to talk about that?
No,
There's a few players who've said no, but yeah, we don't have to talk about that too much. We don't want to.
no, we don't need to talk about that. It's just again, in my opinion, that's something you're never seeing happen up here because our political landscape's a lot different, and the political landscape down there is obviously a lot more divisive. At the end of the day, I think if we were going to say anything about it, to those who were at the end of the day, you're invited. If whether or not you agree with the politics of the person who's in office, it has always been a ceremonial thing. You win something, you get invited to the White House. So, you're riding a major high and you're coming off of that and you're invited to the White House to shake the president's hand. Again, whether you agree with his politics or you don't agree with his politics, or you agree with the comments he said or you don't agree with the comments he said. I think one of the Hughes brothers said it best. It's like
I was just gonna say, I think he did it. I think he said it perfectly.
Not everything needs
yeah.
to be so negative. Not everything needs to be a talking point. Not everything needs to be politically driven. It's we just won a gold medal for our country, and the president of the United States wants to shake my hand. I'm gonna go shake his hand. To each their own. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. It doesn't need to be, oh, this guy's a Republican, this guy's a Democrat.
Yeah.
It's about sports. It's about hockey. Cut and dry.
Yeah. And we ended on that. There's another Olympics. I don't know. Did you want to get into the combine? I don't know if there's too much you want to say.
No, not really. Like, it's not super important to me. I don't really care about this draft class, if I'm being honest. Combine starts this week on Thursday. We got D linemen, linebackers, and defensive backs, or D linemen and linebackers Thursday, D backs, tight ends Friday. And then quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers on Saturday, and offensive linemen on Sunday. I think I'll go over some quick notable players. Obviously, Garrett Nussmeier didn't have a great year at LSU this year, but obviously I think he can be a good quarterback. Cade Klubnik, again, didn't have a great year at Syracuse, but good quarterback. Pavia, Carson Beck. I don't know if Mendoza's going to actually throw.
I think they already said he's not. I think he said he's not going to throw.
Well, he's going to throw for the Las Vegas Raiders, so that's all that matters. Some running backs, Jeremiah Love. You got Zachariah Branch as a wide receiver at Ohio State. Carnell Tate, they're going to go early. The combine for me doesn't really do much other than seeing who does the most reps on bench press and who runs the fastest. That's all I really care about. Some other. Who do
you think the Bills' first draft pick should be? I know it's all about what's available, but like really, what you can say who? I don't know. We can talk about the NFL draft when we get closer to that date, but like, what are you realistically thinking? What's a first round talent the Bills should be looking at in terms of position? Like, should be receiver? Should be helping that D line? What do you think?
I think receiver, you need to go out and trade for a receiver.
Yeah.
Unless you're trading up to get like a Carnell Tate or a Branch or like another younger wide receiver.
Tate's going like top 5.
Yeah,
top 6,
and you're not. They're not trading. I don't think. So like, to me, you need help in the secondary, and you need help. Like, offensive line is not like, maybe not first round. First round, like, I think they're going to look wide receiver, or maybe like we don't need help at tight end. We don't need help, obviously, at quarterback. Running back, maybe but like we have Ray Davis and James Cook plus Ty Johnson. So like, I don't know, a linebacker. Like a young linebacker would be good, especially someone who can cover well. That kid from Texas Tech would be really cool. Or maybe it was Utah. Which
Oh,
might have been
no, it's
Utah.
Texas Tech. Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah.
That was Texas Tech. Yeah.
If it was me, I would say linebacker help because like Dorian Williams plays really well downhill, but his fault has always been coverage. Milano's getting older, but he did show flashes of his former self. And like, I don't know, Bernard just was a shell of himself this year. So yeah, I don't know. Shaq Thompson played unbelievable through the stretch, but also like had some shitty games. So I think we need help at linebacker. We need help in the secondary, especially at safety. But I think they probably look wide receiver. Just bring in a young guy. Like the problem is you don't want to have a throwaway for your first round pick. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Like our offensive line is gross though, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Some quick other NFL news. Bozeman, Charger center, unbelievable career. He retires. I don't know if you saw this. 25-year-old Rondell Moore
Yeah, that was
sadly
sad.
passed away.
Was it? I don't want to speak off of terms. Was it? Did he take his own life?
Yeah. If you need to
Yeah,
talk
okay.
to someone, talk to someone.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're both 25. I would consider us both men. If you need to talk to someone, especially men's mental health is very important. Just talk to someone. I know it's easier said than done. But at the end of the day, no one really deserves to go out that way. And I think the more it's talked about and the more frequently, and obviously with social media and everything, it's becoming more and more well known, but we're still having cases of, star athletes who don't feel like, there's a way out, and there always is. So yeah, talk to someone. I know a lot of people who are touched by this personally, and yeah, no matter what, talk to someone, find someone. There's a lot of platforms to go to. Sometimes people take it as a thing where it's, they're embarrassed that they have to go to therapy, or they're embarrassed that they have to see someone, or, it shouldn't be an embarrassing thing. And that's, I guess, talking about it on a podcast or on a platform, and maybe we only have 100 subscribers, or we only have 1,000 people on TikTok, but if it gets to one person, that makes a difference. And, we've both experienced loss in our life, and we don't, obviously, it's so sad. And if you feel the need to reach out to anyone, obviously, you got friends. That's Ryan and I have a great group of friends. We would always be there for each other, friends, family. And then there's a bunch of platforms and everything. And if you really just need help, there's a bunch of crisis lines and everything as well. So, yeah, obviously rest in peace to Rondell Moore. That's horrible. Prayers for his family and everything like that.
Yeah, well said, brother. Yeah.
But yeah, quickly on a lighter note, Javonte Williams gets paid, $24 million, 3-year extension. I didn't really see this one coming. But I think he played well overall. I think this is what I was talking about with the bridge deals kind of. This is kind of a prove it contract to me of like, we trust you as our running back. We think you can be our running back, but prove it. We're giving you a little bit of term, a little bit of money. Go for 1,000-yard rushing season. And the Bills re-signed Alec Anderson, who's kind of been like that extra O lineman in years past. And I hated this one. I really hope I spelt his name right, and I'm going to get his name right. He's a D lineman, Fedarian Mathis.
All right.
I don't know. I hate it, but yeah. Other than that, in the NFL, not much else going on. Yeah.
All right, brother. Let's wrap up with some golf. I finally get off the schneid at the Genesis. I picked the winner. I had Jacob Bridgman. I didn't watch too much just because of the Olympics. I watched a lot of it on Sunday after the game. It seemed like guys were just flag hunting because the greens were just as firm as possible. It seems like they could place the ball wherever they wanted on the greens.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I had Akshay finish 16th, Bridgman won, Corey Connors 37th, you have Clark 41, Sepp Straka had a tough 80 on day 3, finished 50th, and Siwoo Kim tied 34th. So I take the win there. That's the end of kind of the streak of really like that the opening that we had. Now we got the Cognizant Classic. I think I pick first.
Yeah,
Like we
you
said
do.
beforehand. I haven't really looked at the leaderboard. All right. Let's go with.
Oh shit! Let me open up the thing so I can write it down.
It'd be huge. The only really big name is like Shane Lowry or Brooks Koepka. I don't know if I want to go after those guys yet. It's kind of a long shot right now, but just I love them, and this is kind of one of those tournaments where it's okay to just to pick one of these random guys. Give me Neil Shipley.
Okay, that's crazy. I'm gonna stay young on the board too and take Luke Clanton.
Oh, okay. I probably did have to go first with that one.
That was hilarious. I would have never picked him.
You know, he's having a good start to the year. Give me Ryan Gerard.
Dude, I always get him, and there's a famous snowboarder, Red Gerard. I mix up their names all the time. I just had it, and I forget it.
Oh boy, figure it out.
Oh fuck! God damn it! Now I can't find the fucking field. God damn. Oh, give me. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Give me Christian Bezoidenut.
Good enough for me. Then I'll end it off with for me Daniel Berger.
Damn. Fuck.
I got some big old boys on mine.
All right, give me Joel Damon. Did I already take Joel Damon?
I don't think so. I think I did.
Okay, yeah, I'll take Damon.
No, you're good. No, I didn't take him either.
All right, perfect. Ryan
I
for
like
the
my squad.
Cognizant Classic has got Neil Shipley at 1, Ryan Gerard at 2, Daniel Berger at 3. I've got Luke
Good
Clanton, Christian Bezoidenut.
Attaboy.
I gotta be butchering that. And Joel Damon.
There's no way that's right.
And then real quick question for Ryan for golf. I wanted to lock in on golf. I wanted to make our golf segment a little bit more fun than just some picks. So I think each week I'm going to come up with a question, a would you rather, or some type of question for Ryan. So this week is, would you rather golf with your favorite tour pro, any course, whatever course you want, or your favorite celebrity? And that can be anyone from Barstool, like whoever you consider a celebrity.
That's tough. So my favorite tour pro is probably Rory. And I don't know, celebrity, I'm trying to think. Like it'd be like celebrity would be like a Leaf, like, you know, a Matthews or a Nylander.
Okay.
Or
see, this is where my train of thought came in of like, okay, tour pro fun, right? Fun. You get to play with a guy who's unbelievable at golf.
It'd probably be Bob Does Sports, honestly, if I had to really say it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Probably,
but
like,
then you take favorite celebrity, you're going out with a guy who's maybe got the same around handicap as you.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like
And
it's just this guy's like, oh, I'm going to fucking golf with this 15 handicap, like Rory, like everything.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it would be cool to ask him stories, to see him hit the golf ball and shit like that. But really, like, if I'm golfing, yeah, I want to play good and everything, but I want to have fun. And like guys like, you know, I love Bob Does Sports. I love them at the beginning. And Leaf, like hockey guys are always fun. That's why I say like Matthews or Nylander, because they're probably the same as me. But yeah, like a Bobby Berger, Joey Cole, or Fat Perez, I would say. Over, not that I wouldn't love it with Rory. He's probably my favorite tour pro, but I feel like the other way would just be a lot more fun and relaxed than
I agree.
golfing with the tour pro.
I agree.
Good question. I like that. All right, let's finish up with our segments here. Lock of the week, I had Sweden money line against USA that lost.
It was close.
14-11 on my record is, and now I have, just because Toronto battling a lot of injuries, Tampa didn't have a lot of guys at Olympics, I'm going to say Lightning money line and Kucherov 2+ points. Dude, you give a Kucherov for who's been humming 2 weeks off this to train, yeah, he's going to fucking light you up.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. And you said Sweden money line versus Latvia. I said I guess as a win.
That's a dot. That's a win.
So what do you got? You're 9-15 now.
I got Domi over 1.5 shots, Nyes over 1.5 shots, and Brandon Hagel 2 shots on goal.
Actually, now it makes you 10-15.
Clawing back.
Right.
Clawing back.
Bet the farm. I did win mine. It's not the craziest farm. It was just Germany, Swiss, Czechia, and Sweden money line.
Dude, I was so close.
Yeah, yours was like the money line, but then you added points as well,
I
right?
added points, yeah. And I think I had Draisaitl a point, which he got one. I think it was Pasternak or Nylander. I had Nylander a point.
Oh, against USA?
Yeah.
Or against, yeah. All right, bet the farm. I basically chose all the teams that are playing the most Olympians. So I know I have the Sabres in there. They have a few, but still, I got Capitals money line, Sabres money line, Lightning money line, Stars money line, Utah money line, and LA money line.
Okay.
I think that's Wednesday night hockey. So when this comes out,
I know I kind of shit on basketball at the beginning of this, but mine is
it's all your bet the farms.
it's my bet the farm. I got the Sixers over the Pacers, the Thunder over the Raptors, the Cavs over the Knicks, the Nets over the Mavericks, the Hawks over the Wizards, the Hornets over the Bulls, the Warriors over the Pelicans, the Heat over the Bucks, the Celtics over the Suns, and the Trailblazers over the Timberwolves. $1 to win 200.
You're such a clown. Attaboy. This is a good one. I'm happy we're able to do this. Literally Friday, I was texting Jackson. We'll see about this because of the surgery, but
I was so nervous.
Pretty well.
I told Ryan I was going to write notes through the week, and my week was just absolutely fucked with everything that I was
the notes I saw was
Saturday.
The notes I saw was question for Ryan with no question underneath it. So that was your fucking.
Well, I also didn't want to. I didn't want to put the question too early so that you could think about it.
Because I'm on the notes all the time as I'm grinding.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have a podcast without you.
You too. All right, man. This was a good one. I am kind of happy we waited to kind of get our thoughts in order, but this was good. Please go comment, like, subscribe. I know, only 94 subscribers, but we're on our way. Hopefully you get to 100 soon. I am going to start posting those Monday videos again because those did very well. Like, I was posting ones that, they're getting like long form YouTube videos. We're getting over 500 views, which is good for me. So I'm going to post a Canadian Olympic roster for 2030 video next Monday. This obviously comes out Wednesday. Go comment, like, subscribe on YouTube, hit 1,000 on TikTok. Love to get more on Instagram and Twitter as well. So go follow Buds and Pucks across there as well. And go follow on Spotify. I feel like Spotify is one of the hardest because people, you don't really seem to like follow on Spotify. You know where to find it, right? Mm-hmm. So give us a listen, give us a follow, and we'll see you next week for episode 58.
To the moon.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round!
Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5!